Hi, I'm attorney Gregory Dell with today's disability benefit tip, which is file timely if you have a pre-existing condition. And Stephen, the timeliness of a long-term disability insurance claim and when you file it with regard to a pre-existing condition is the difference between being eligible and not eligible. Not about getting approved, just even having eligibility. Right. Talk about how this is done and why it's so important to file on the appropriate date.
Yeah, so most people aren't aware of the fact that their long-term disability policy has a pre-existing condition limitation, and generally that's normally read as if you file for disability within the first 12 months of having the policy, they will do a pre-existing condition evaluation. And if you had treatment in usually the 3-month period prior to that, that start date, it'll be deemed pre-existing and they'll deny the claim. However, if you work and covered under that policy for more than 12 months, it wipes out any pre-existing condition. So we've seen it where people have maybe worked 2, 3, 4 months for an employer. They file for short-term, and there's not generally a problem because short-term very rarely has pre-existing condition provisions, and when they do, they're very small. But then they're met with this letter on the long-term side, we're investigating you for a pre-existing condition. And it's, like you said, it's not a matter of the insurance company saying, we don't think you are disabled. We just say you don't have any benefits because of this limitation.
How soon in the claims process when someone applies do they do a pre-existing condition evaluation?
On long-term disability, immediately. Immediately. Short-term, generally, like I said, doesn't happen, but one of the first letters I've seen from people sending it in from their long-term carrier says, here are claim forms, we're also doing a pre-existing condition review.
And I wanted to give a quick example of the power of this pre-existing condition limitation, is that you could be someone who has a long-standing cardiac condition, you've been treating with a cardiologist for years, you get a new job, now you've been there for 11 months and 29 days or 30 days, and you decide that your condition's fatiguing you so much you can't do it anymore, and then you go out on disability that day, like one day before 12 months, which is usually the pre-existing condition provision. That person won't be covered, correct?
Correct.
But that person waits until after 1 year, even though they had a long-standing cardiac condition, and now they can have coverage. So does it matter that they were treating before during that year for their condition?
No, as long as they meet those active employment provisions, meaning you can't be on a medical leave and then file. You have to be working past that 12-month mark. So you could have treated for everything under the sun, but as long as you get past that, I always say make it to day 366. None of that is going to matter as it relates to pre-existing conditions.
And I've also seen people that have been out of work for 30 days during the first 12 months, and we've told them, look, you got to do whatever you can and get back to work, and you got to satisfy that 12 months. So there's a lot of strategies and tips that we can work through with somebody, but it's scary how many people have called us that filed on day 364, 363, and they're just not eligible because they were 2 or 3 days short. So. If you have a long-term disability insurance claim and you're considering applying, or you're having issues dealing with the company, you need to file an appeal or a lawsuit, feel free to contact Stephen, myself, or any of our disability lawyers. We help claimants all over the country, and we always provide an immediate free consultation. We encourage you to contact us at the number below or submit a free consult on our website, and one of our lawyers will immediately contact you. We also would love for you to subscribe to our YouTube channel by clicking below. We put out hundreds of these videos, and we've been doing this for over 10 years on our YouTube channel, so we hope that you'll find these videos helpful. We believe that the more knowledge you have about the disability insurance claim process, the better position you'll be in to secure your benefits. So if we can help you to protect your disability benefits, we'd love the opportunity to speak with you.